So things like this actually gives identity to it, but for me, mostly it's the environment.
It's a world. It's an invisible world. It's not a living, breathing thing. Is it one entity? Is it many entities? Is there an internet god?
Okay.
Is there an internet goddess? And it's something that I don't think any of us, I mean, none of our writers, none of our science fiction writers ever dreamed this up. It's in the ether. I mean, it's not even in ether. I don't know. It's how do you grasp it? How do you put it in a box and say this is where you exist?
I am amazed at the amount of faith people have in this machine.
I think there is a great disconnect with the young generation these days, with a sense of who they are, where they're from.
I think that there's a battle between old and new rituals, or to put it in a better way, not just a battle, but there's a convergence of that.
Because society is changing, and it's changing at a rate which has never happened before.
Okay, the ritual of needing to check out your emails and your Facebook account.
We have sacrificed one very major aspect of the life of the mind and the life of the spirit. That is contemplation. I think people don't have any time now for the contemplation of an idea.
I think technology has a lot to answer for. It gives you a sense of community, but it also keeps you apart because you don't need to feel a physical sense of community. It's a virtual community.
It's a kind of space and place for an alternative of mass media.
Media is very powerful.
So media, internet.
I mean, you can see a lot of bad things happening in our world. There is wars, there is racism, there is children dying, there is all kind of bad things all happening at the same time.
Now you have access to so much information, and information is power, baby, but also it can be very damning, it can be very destructive.
The internet has opened up an avenue for a great deal of freedom of information. But 90% of the stuff on it is junk. And what I'm worried about and age, is the confusion that exists between knowledge and information. People are beginning to think it's one and the same thing. It's not. Knowledge is far deeper. There are far deeper fundamental questions that need to be answered. Questions about justice, questions about democracy, even questions about freedom.
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 Freedom when you have the power to do anything that you want.
Freedom means I don't want anybody to disturb me. I want to go to my own way.
Freedom is when you give a chance to yourself and others.
I don't think I have that kind of freedom that I long for in this country. There are so many restrictions.
Our problems now are not only systemic, they're psychological, they're cultural, they're to do with worldviews and mindsets. Nobody is ready, nobody in the political world at least, is ready to begin to grapple with that. So I think society as a whole has to force them to.
It's about time we start thinking about new ways of being governed. All these ideas of governance were all developed, like hundreds of years ago. But why can't we start thinking about that kind of change and creating that kind of change now?
We cannot vote in a government tomorrow and think things are going to change. Everybody has to have a stake. Everybody has to get involved. And there needs to be a great deal more empathy. We emphasize this term tolerance in this country. You know what tolerance is? Tolerance is I put up with you until I no longer can or have to. Empathy is a completely different thing. Empathy is I feel for you, I'm a part of you and you're a part of me. That is the truth of Malaysia.
This country inspires me, and as long as it continues to inspire me, this will be more. The function of art, for me, is to heal. Because art has to move you. You have to create something that is a mirror of society, but also of yourself.